Hello and welcome back to part two of the Max Verstappen My Team Career Mode.
Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
Radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Right, so we get into qualifying. It just starts raining as we get out into SQ1. So we have to be really careful, getting a bit of oversteer there in the rain. We now begin our first flying lap in China. Couldn't quite get those front tires all the way warm as we're kind of sliding about everywhere because it's quite wet here. Obviously, hopefully we can do well in the wet. I know the AI does do better in the wet, so maybe that's not exactly biblically accurate. Max Verstappen to not be the best in the wet, but it is what it is. As we run the line, it's good enough for P4. It's a 1:44.3, and I think that should be plenty good enough to get into SQ2 personally, especially since it's going to be raining. The later we go, and yes, it's going to be a great qualifying for both of us, honestly. Sonoda in, and we are in as well. I wish they made it more challenging for the second Red Bull driver. I've said this so many times because it's just not really accurate to have, Yuki's consistently being, 3 or 4 places away from us. Like, he should be like 10 places away from us. They should just make the car just trickier to drive, honestly, and then just kind of make it a little bit easier if you're driving for Max Verstappen by like changing some things. I don't know, because it'd just be kind of cool if they did things like that where they make it yeah, I don't know. Anyways, as we begin our second lap of the session in SQ2, as it is fully raining now, as you see, so it's quite a bit slower than last time. We almost drop it out of the final corner. Almost dropped it. A lot of oversteer. We were in the knockout zone, but we just squeaked by in P9 to get into that SQ3 position. And it looks like bad qualifying for Hamilton, unlike his sprint race in real life in China. Fernando Alonso, Albon, and Behrman all not having great qualifying, quite a ways off our time. As we go to the end of SQ3, everybody's all done their laps and they in the garage. But I noticed that the rain was going to stop. As you can see, there's 30 seconds left in the session. Nobody's out. In real life, so many people are out. The rain has stopped and is plenty dry enough for slicks. And everybody else has done their time on intermediates. So, honestly, I don't know what the AI were doing. There was like nobody out even past 2 minutes. So honestly, I don't know what they're thinking. As you can see, 2 purple sectors. Pretty easy to set purple sectors. Honestly, I was just going a bit easy in this, especially in this last sector, because I didn't need to risk anything, knowing that I would have said that I'm going to set the fastest time, because I have 2 purple sectors and I'm on slicks. And everybody else is not. I'm on soft and everybody else is on inter. That is going to be an absolutely easy sprint pole position, as we absolutely breeze to the top of the timing charts, nearly 6 seconds ahead of our championship rival, Lando Norris, and that's crazy. Obviously, it's because we went out on the dry. I really wish the AI would have maybe done that, but it is what it is. It could be worse. Let's go to the sprint race.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Shanghai International Circuit, then, is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flats, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, and Piastri. Hulkenberg, Stroll, Sainz, and Isaac Hadjar. Behrman, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, and Albon. Gasly, Ocon, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Liam Lawson. Antonelli and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'll give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. As we all know, every single driver wants to know what's required of them. And in the case of this driver, I think things are pretty stable at the moment. They're doing what the team require.
Well, that's the thing, as a driver, it's easy to feel like you're the individual. It's all about you. And, you want to further your career the best you can, but you have to have the team hat on as well and play the team game, work with your teammate as best you can. It's not an easy balance to figure out.
All right, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
So as we go to sprint
Okay, here we go.
race
I know what you can do. Don't let me
strategy,
down.
we are going with the mediums because I figure that's really what everybody else is going to do. No formation lap here, so it will be lights out, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race, as it looks like a good getaway for Lando Norris, nearly overtaking us there, as you can see from the marker, but we stay ahead in the lead, and we will honestly be just trying to defend for at least the first lap, knowing that this Red Bull, since I haven't really done many upgrades, and I'm not going to do very many upgrades, I'm going to save R&D for two reasons. One reason, because they put the Red Bull way faster in the game than it actually is. That's the first reason. Two, just because I don't have a ton of R&D, and it's hard. There's not very many good upgrades, so might as well just save it anyways. So I'm not doing any upgrades for several episodes. So hopefully that will make it a little bit more realistic, but also help me maybe future in my career if I decide to go somewhere else, or if I decide to stay with Red Bull. Maybe the 2026 regulations will be better. I don't know. Anyways, as Lando Norris threatens a dive down the inside, but we're going to go late on the brakes. He does do that dive down the inside. We try to leave room. We're being respectful. But now all here is about on the back straight getting a good exit as we try to dump some, get some battery going to try to defend from Norris, as he does have a bit of a better run than we do, and he is in that much faster McLaren, probably especially in a straight line. But let's see, it might be neck and neck here as we go to the second to last corner, and we get caught up with Lando, and Russell goes straight through. So I don't know what Lando was trying to do going around the outside. I mean, I guess I do know what he was trying to do, but I don't know why he didn't go for a switchback or something. Like, why did he try to commit to the outside? I clearly wasn't giving it to him. So I don't know what that is. Anyways, let's look at the replay here from earlier from the lap 1, and as it lights out, let's see exactly what kind of getaway Norris got. Norris got a very good getaway, much better than Russell and Leclerc did. Leclerc losing a position, Russell gaining a position, but they're kind of squabbling back and forth. Piastri kind of trying to get his nose in as well. I think this was filmed after the update, I want to say. I think this was filmed after the driver ratings update, so I believe Piastri is fully rated, or updated rating. I believe he's at 91 now, tied with Lando and Leclerc. So that would be that's going to be lovely to see him higher up, as it's a lovely scrap between Russell and Leclerc, as Russell just gets ahead, and Norris is trying to attack us, as we could have seen there from earlier. So it's kind of a 1-2 and a 3-4 battle, as Piastri and Tsunoda just honestly try to pick up pace. Hulkenberg in P7, which is a 2 points, great result, especially in a sprint race for the Kick Sauber. Sainz in P8 as well. Stroll kind of nipping at his heels. The same with Hadjar. Hamilton and Behrman, Alonso, none of them have really done much from their really bad qualifying. So a bit unfortunate on their parts to have such a bad qualifying and really not be able to do anything with it. But it is what it is. as we go to lap 3, right before the back straight, we play the defensive game and keep it down the inside. But of course, everybody will have DRS on us now, so it should be easy for them to breeze past us. So we're gonna have to. I've been saving up battery for pretty much all this lap, and so I'm just trying to defend from Russell. But Russell without DRS is already quite a bit ahead of us as we just completely shove him to the grass. He's gonna have to force to go around the long way instead of down the inside, and we defend from Russell a bit. We did get ahead of Russell earlier, but let's see if Russell will keep the position. No, he will not. So we get the overtake done from earlier in the lap. I don't know if you saw, but before the back straight, I believe we just dived down the inside of Russell. But Russell's going to breeze past us again with DRS, but we're going to try to keep it going here. We're trying to keep alongside of him, and let's see exactly what can happen with this pace. As Leclerc is going to probably catch up soon as well. He's already in DRS of them as well. So let's go back to lap 2 to see exactly what's happening here. It is a massive crash for Portoletto. That is very unfortunate for Portoletto. That is a huge crash. You see that? That's a massive crash. I don't know whose fault that was, but I think he just ran to the back of Doohan, or maybe Stroll. Stroll's going slowly too, and Antonelli got harmed. I think he had damage as well. So not a great race for any of those drivers. As we go to lap 5, we squeeze Russell out. Probably a bit of the illegal move under braking, and we almost drop out as Russell makes some contact with us. We almost have some threatening slight oversteer and almost completely lose the back end. And now we're just going toe-to-toe with Russell. He pulls quite a bit ahead because I struggle to get track as Russell gets past us. So now we're going to try to kind of defend from him. Overtake him again. And this is the replay from lap 4, just kind of giving you an overall idea of where all the cars are. You can see Doohan, Stroll. As we continue in this sprint race, as the car is just sliding around here. Just getting a little bit loosey-goosey on us, as we know the Red Bull can. Obviously, I am not Max Verstappen, nowhere close to Max Verstappen, but this is a Max Verstappen career mode. And in IRL, we're managing to, just like in IRL, we're kind of trying to manage it, the sliding a bit, trying to manage the rear end, because we do really like that front end grip. And I do kind of do as well, just in general, not even just like saying that, like, just in general, I prefer front end over rear end grip at pretty much every track. Although Max has said that he doesn't actually like the way his car is now. That's just the best way for him to get the performance out of it. So for all the people who say that the reason why all of his teammates struggle is because of that, the reason his teammates struggle is because the car is hard to drive, and the reason he's so much better is just because he's so much better. Sure, he can manage that type of car. But anyways, as we dive down the inside of Russell, and we take P1 back, as we have P1 and the fastest lap. Unfortunately, this is no longer 2024, so a fastest lap isn't extra points. It's a sprint race, so fastest lap is an extra point anyways. As we're just trying to keep Russell at play, deploying that battery. Our main rival, honestly, I wish the game would kind of just make us rivals, to be honest, because, I mean, George Russell, Max Verstappen, and we almost lose the rear end. We know that they are both very big rivals in real life, so it'd be cool to add that into the game as we go into lap 8. Lando Norris breezes right past us, as Russell's already been taken over by Norris and Leclerc, but we're going to try to come back at Russell. We're going to try to go around the outside, just keeping that front right tire on the circuit so it's not track limits, and we get the position done, as both of our tires are kind of fading. The McLaren probably having a bit more better tire wear than the Red Bull, so it is what it is, but we're honestly trying to just defend Norris, our main championship rival last year, especially as we move on to lap 9, and probably will be this year, either him, Piastri, Russell, or Leclerc. I mean, I guess that's pretty obvious, but those people have really been the ones that in this game I've noticed have really stepped up, especially compared to Max Verstappen, as Norris breezes past us. I try to go defensive, but there's nothing that can be done. So we're just going to have to tuck up behind Norris and try to get DRS on the back straight once again as we almost lose the back end there, getting all loosey-goosey. Sorry, I love that term. As we will not have DRS on Norris, but I don't believe we will quite be able to overtake him. I'm trying to save up battery for that long back straight, so hopefully we can just stay close to him. Unfortunately, we do have dirty air coming off of him, as in 2025, I have noticed in F1 25, the dirty air is much worse than in F1 24. So kind of nice detail that they added there, that it affects the car more, a little bit more realistic, as he's already 8 tenths away from us. So we really have to keep up with Norris here. Otherwise, we might not be able to pass him on that long straight. And we fast forward to the long straight. We have DRS, but we're going to be lucky if we stay ahead of Leclerc, and we will not be able to catch Lando Norris. So it is a different winner. It's good, I guess, because like in real life, the Red Bull is hard to draw. It's not the best team, and it's nice to see that we won't be winning every race. I will be upping the difficulty, but Lando Norris wins the Chinese sprint race, and we, as Max Verstappen, come in P2, and Leclerc and Russell after that. So P2, not too bad. Honestly, pretty pleased with that. Great to see it, really. So glad to see that we do get some great points up. We're still definitely leading the championship. Sonoda, P6, great result for him. I guess in the game it's a mediocre result, but in real life that'd be a great result. 3 points for Sonoda. That's a great result in real life. So we'll just call it a great result in the game as well. Anyways, as we move on to the topic of the day, which is Ferrari doing okay in this sprint race compared, but not as good as they did in real life. So let's see what they can do in the race. Hopefully they can do quite a bit better. Anyways, let's head to qualifying to see what the grid order will be.
Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
So as we start our qualifying here in Q1, honestly, just trying to make it to Q2. Obviously, should be pretty much a formality at this point for Verstappen and the first Red Bull seat in general. I don't really think a Q1 exit is a very common thing. I honestly don't recall the last time it happened. It's been a long time. Obviously, some of the times it was probably because of penalties or things like that, or something wrong with, I don't know, their timing, or I'm not exactly sure. Anyways, as we skip to the end of the lap, we decided to wait till roughly the end of the session to have better track position, to have a better track. But this means that we will not get 2 runs, but it doesn't matter. P7, 136.5, great result as we head into Q2. Sonoda, P10, 2 places back from us, only like a 10th off our pace, which is pretty crazy. Again, I don't mean to be glazing for Verstappen here, but that's not very realistic. I love Sonoda; he's one of my favorite drivers, but he was that close in Hungary almost, but I just think that the game makes the second Red Bull seat not good enough. I mean, not hard enough to drive. Anyways, as the rear end gets a little loosey-goosey on us heading into the first lap of Q2, and we're just trying to set a good lap time here, so we don't have to go out again in Q2. And oh my goodness, look at that, drifting around the final corner. It's a purple sector 1, green sector 2. What will it be? Run to the line. It's a 136.0.
Okay, we can
2 tenths off Antonelli. I figure that will be enough to get into Q2, and yes, it will. Just getting into Q2 by about 2 tenths. Could have definitely set a better lap time, but why do it? You know,
okay, here's an update. We've got a leak in the hydraulic system, so it's going to be a few minutes before we can get you back out on track.
Head into Q2, and we have a fault for braking, and it will be raining halfway through qualifying, it'll start raining. So this means we'll only be able to start one qualifying lap. Instead of, if we didn't have that fault, we might have been able to do 2. So this is very unfortunate. This is kind of unlike our SQ3. This, as we almost, goodness gracious, we're drifting it around the first corner. Goodness. Maybe some of that dirty air coming off our teammate, who really did not help us through this entire lap, if I'm being completely honest. But this is a bit opposite from what we saw in the sprint quali, the third sprint quali, or SQ3. This Q3 is we're kind of putting on the back foot instead of going out in wet with the dry, getting that advantage, wet versus dry. We're getting the disadvantage. We will go to line that's only good enough for P5. 4 tenths off pole, or 4 tenths off Russell.
Stopping this lap.
Yes, just not a good lap. And a minute, a second. Off pole. Great to see the 2 McLarens up there. The front row lockout for McLaren. Piastri, then Norris, Russell, Hamilton, ourselves, and Leclerc. Let's see what will happen in the race during race day.
The Chinese Grand Prix, then, is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles per hour with DRS assistance down the back straight before the cars brake into the tight hairpin at turn 14. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Antonelli, Tsunoda, and Nico Hülkenberg, Behrman, Sainz, Isaac Hadjar, and Lawson, Albon, Gasly, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Esteban Ocon. Doohan and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'll give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, mate. Radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
As we go to the race, let's see what strategy we'll pick. We're going to pick the medium to hard strategy, as I finally turned on the formation route. Finally. But we're going to do the medium to hard. It looks like most people really choosing the hards. I think the McLaren chose the hards. I think it's pretty much just me and Russell choosing the medium to hard strategy. So let's see how that goes as we go to the start of the Chinese Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go. It looks like an okayish getaway from Lewis Hamilton, but it looks like a much better getaway from yours truly, Max Verstappen, as we're already catching up to Russell, our rival. Will it be us against the McLarens? You've seen that many times before in real life and even in this game, as we try to get the switchback on both Norris and Piastri, but we get done in by Hamilton. What was he doing? He just turned to the side of us. I didn't, he was behind us. Why would I need to leave room? And then he all of a sudden thinks that I didn't leave him enough room. So all of a sudden we're down 1.5 heading in, not even done with Sector 1 yet. And Hamilton, what is he doing? So this is a very bad start. We do have a very good corner there, so we do catch up to the McLarens, but that's not the best start. As we go back to the beginning, it looks like an okayish getaway from Piastri, but a better getaway from Lando almost, but he kind of has to cover off Russell. But it looks like the two McLarens, the two papayas, already fighting, as we've seen so many times this season in real life, and hopefully we'll see so many times future more in multiple of my series, in both my series. Hopefully we see that, so that'd be lovely to see. Anyways, it was a bad getaway for Russell, really, down to P5. Went from P3 to P5. We kind of swapped positions a little bit almost. So definitely could have seen a better job from him. Not trying to say that he is trash. I am saying that because just like in real life, I'm just going to hate Russell. This series is my hate on Russell series because I'm driving as Verstappen, and I'll be unapologetic as we dive it down the inside of Piastri. And so we overtake Piastri, so we split the papayas. It is Norris, Verstappen, Piastri, Hamilton, Russell, Leclerc, Antonelli in P7, Alonso P9, very good. Berman P9, was very good for the Haas as well. And our teammate Tsunoda P10 picking up the last spot, which is not too bad, could be worse. As it is then Hulkenberg, Sainz, Ocon, Hadjar, Lawson, Albon, and Bortoleto and Stroll really not doing real great, and neither are the Alpines or really the Racing Bulls. But it looks like a pretty good race for Haas, and not too bad for Alonso either, as it looks like Antonelli just overtook Leclerc. So Leclerc is not going to be too happy fighting down there for P6, as we're trying to get as close as we can to the back of Lando Norris's McLaren, because we really do not want to waste this opportunity, and we don't want to cut off DRS as we go to the end of lap 2. We're just sliding through this corner. We've gained so much time on Norris, but look how much, because the reason that is because we've used so much battery. We do set the fastest lap of purple last sector, but we've used up so much battery that we couldn't have overtaken there. If we would have had like 20 or 25%, we could have probably overtaken him with DRS, but we started the lap with like 5% or something like that. So it looks like we won't be able to overtake him. So very unfortunate as we try to eke that gap out between Piastri. I really want to just keep this between Norris and ourselves. I don't want to invite Piastri in, and I don't want to invite Hamilton or Leclerc in either. I don't want the Ferraris getting involved, and I really don't want Piastri getting involved. Norris, he's going to have to be involved because he's in first place. I don't want anybody to be involved, to be honest, but I'm going to have to involve Norris. So I'm just hoping to keep it between me and Norris, maybe Piastri, but especially not the Ferraris, because I feel like they can randomly pull pace out. Ferraris in this game, and kind of sometimes in real life, at least to me, at least sometimes it feels like to me, randomly just pull pace out of nowhere. But then the rest of the races, they're absolutely trash. So I don't know what that is, but it is what it is. As we go back to lap 2, it is Hamilton who's defending from his old teammate Russell, and then Leclerc Antonelli. This is going back to lap 2. Alonso, as I said earlier, P9, very great. P8, our teammate P9 overtaking Berlin in the faster car. Very nice to see. Unfortunately, in real life, I feel like Behrman does better than Tsunoda recently. That's obviously not Tsunoda's fault. I'm just saying that's crazy. Hulkenberg, Sainz, Ocon, Hadjar, really all of those, maybe even Lawson, have some good opportunities to score a point or two, really, if they really get a move on here, as we're trying to keep up with Lando Norris, get inside that DRS as we move to lap 3. Getting that DRS on Lando, but I think Piastri might have DRS on us as well. Or no, I think Lando has broken our DRS, and so. And I think so did Piastri. He just closed up enough on the straight, but he didn't close up enough when he passed the DRS line, if that makes sense. As we're trying to stay all over the back of Lando Norris, trying to make sure he makes a mistake, trying to overtake him with DRS. As Piastri, yes, Piastri is out of DRS still. Lovely to see that. Honestly, hopefully, us and Lando can just work with each other for about 10 until lap 10. I'll be fine with that for a couple laps. If we can just work with each other and try to use the DRS to get ahead of Piastri, but unfortunately, I just don't think that the AI really likes that idea. Usually, when I let them go ahead, they just run off with it. So, unfortunately, I believe I will have to defend here. But I wish the game would let you work with AI a little bit, at least at the beginning. But it is what it is, really. It could be worse as we go to lap 4. draining a bit of the battery and using that DRS, seeing if we can get a little switchback or run on Norris, as we almost lose the rear end there as it just steps out to the left, and we are now get DRS again, but we're quite low on battery. So let's see if we can go for the move on Norris. Let's see if we can overtake him down the inside. Let's see if we get the move done. And yes, we do. We could fully commit to the first corner now going into turn 2. We leave room for Norris, trying to stay respectful, but then we cut back because he no longer was there. But now he goes down there inside. It looks like he's absolutely done us. So lovely scrap between Norris and Verstappen here. We've seen it so many times, starting from Austria all the way to the beginnings of this year. We've seen Norris and Verstappen, even to Japan. We've seen all those lovely scraps that they've had in real life. So hopefully this series will be full of the Verstappen v McLaren fights, if you will. I would love to see more of those, as our target is to stay ahead of Norris until lap 10. That is an audacious task to do, especially with DRS on this back straight. But we're already pulling ahead a little bit, but I think Norris has already eked the gap out to, or closed the gap to get DRS, as the Ferraris are getting left in the dust, as it is ourselves, Verstappen, and then it is the 2 McLarens, the 2 Ferraris, and the 2 Mercedes. So it's kind of just double stacking down the order. And then I believe Tsunoda is in P8, so it's a Red Bull capping off the order of these teams. So that's just kind of cool thing to recognize. As we're trying to keep Norris behind us, let's see exactly what we can do here on lap 5 as we go defensive on the inside, and we try to get some good traction here. We only have 8% battery, so I'm trying my best to maybe hinder him in a way as to where we can get Piastri involved. And going into lap 10, we do get that objective done, but we come into the pits. So lovely to see that this undercut will hopefully work. I don't know why I said lovely to see. Anyways, we come for the undercut because my tires were absolutely toast. Well, not toast, but my tires were not doing real great. And Norris and Piastri on those hards, as I believe Piastri might have come in. No, he just got overtaken straight up by Leclerc. That's pretty weird. I believe that their hard tires were coming into play, and so since my mediums were wearing out faster than their hards, I was figuring I'll put on hards, which is the tire they have now, and since mine will be much fresher than theirs, yes, mine's still gonna be cold for the first lap. I figured they were gonna wait at least 4 laps longer than I was, as we dive it down the inside of Sainz to take P9. So we came out in points position. We're already in P9 as well. So if there was a red flag, we'd still have a great opportunity to score quite high points. So I was lovely to see this undercut could work wonders, really. As you look up the road, Norris is just heading into the final, or second to last turn on the long back straight, as you see at the mini-map. So I believe if they pit, we could maybe get the undercut done, but they have our hard tires. So I believe that those would, they're going to go a lot longer, because they can't take the mediums 17 laps, especially if they only are willing to take the hards 11 laps. That doesn't make sense. Why would you take a medium tire that wears out relatively quite a bit faster than the hard? Why would you take that 7 laps further? So they're definitely gonna have to wait a long time to pit, and so we are honestly just trying to set him some blitz these laps times here, get ahead, and then manage the tires once we have a couple second gap built up once they pit. Obviously, once they pit, they will have those medium tires on, and so they will be much faster than us because they will have fresh mediums versus old hards. That's a much bigger gap than fresh hards versus old hards, because fresh mediums are honestly one of the best tires, I feel like, in most races. Sometimes the softs really aren't worth it. They wear out too fast, and the hards can be really good for long stints, but when it comes to reliability, speed, and just overall really good tire, I think the medium is one of the better ones, especially for a good lap time. So when they come out on those mediums, they will absolutely be much faster than we are. And now it is a McLaren Ferrari checkerboard of cars. It's Norris, Leclerc, Piastri, Hamilton, followed by the 2 Mercedes, then Tsunoda, Alonso, then ourselves, Sainz, Hadjar, Albon, and Hulkenberg. As I said, Albon, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, maybe even Sainz, they have some good opportunities to score some points. I'm not exactly sure what happened to Behrman. Maybe he trying to get an undercut. I think he might have started on softs. So I believe he's doing a two-stop because there's no way he started on softs and then taking the hard tire like 18 or 19 laps. You can't take a hard tire at 19 laps on a 50% race. I mean, I guess you can, but like, I definitely don't think the AI will. As we cut the corner there, and we already get another corner cutting limit, corner cutting warning, which is very unfortunate. As we set the fast lap of the race, so this undercut is already working very well. 2 purple sectors, middle and final sectors, purple. As now, honestly, I wish there was a thing that would give team orders, because if I was the team here, I might be a bit biased, but we're trying to set a blazing fast undercut, and Tsunoda's on old hard, so he's just going to be hampering our undercut if he keeps giving us dirty air, to be honest. But it is what it is. As soon as we can just get past him as soon as possible, as long as we can do that, I'm happy, I guess. If he holds us up for several laps, I'm not going to be happy. But anyways, these hard tires are holding up quite nicely. I believe they're around, now I think they're around 10% wear, roughly. I've had them on for 2-3 laps as we dive it down the inside of our teammate. Or no, we've had them on for 2 laps, yeah, so I think they're like 8% now. I can't remember. I think they're roughly 8%. As we dive it down the inside of Tsunoda, as you saw there earlier. Beautiful overtake by yours truly. And Tsunoda will have DRS to come back at us, but we're just absolutely blitzed that corner heading into the long curly Q corner, I guess you could call it, heading into the back straight. That he does have DRS, but he's not going to get anywhere close to passing us just because we have much better pace than he does, especially on these fresh hards versus him on those old hard tires. As we go on to lap 14, 1 lap later, in moving on to the back straight, on the back of Antonelli as we dive it down the inside. An absolutely audacious move. Keep that front right tire on the track to keep it a legal move. And we get that move done, sliding around, going off circuit, which is probably not the best thing when it comes to track limits. That would definitely be track limits. But if you look at the mini map, I don't know if you saw there just before we cut cameras. It's a real McLaren Ferrari kind of thing going on here. I don't know if you see, but it's kind of crazy. But we're already in P5, so it's a McLaren Ferrari Red Bull, exactly in order, which is kind of cool to see. But obviously the first 4 have yet to pit, starting on that hard tire. So honestly, I mean, if we're looking at the times here, we're gonna jump up on them massively, because the pit stop takes what, 20 seconds? I don't know, maybe 20 seconds as Leclerc comes to the pit, and so is Piastri. You're trying to get it. So Piastri and Leclerc are going to have undercuts on their teammates because they're going to have 1 lap on those fresh mediums, and our teammates are going to have to do an extra lap on those old hard. As we're already closing up to the back of Hamilton nearly, and it would look like a good stop time for Piastri and a good stop time for Leclerc as well. But yes, this undercut has really worked a beauty, really. We gained, what is that? I can't do the math exactly. There's like 4 cars in between us and Leclerc, but we gained, I don't know, roughly probably 15-20 seconds on him. As Leclerc, Hamilton has yet to pit, and we're passing him up, diving it down the inside. He has yet to pit, and we're legitimately in P2. And the first, Norris has yet to pit. As he does dive into the pits now, as we don't quite hit the fuel target, unfortunately. So hopefully we don't run out of fuel. But if Norris, he's still in the pits, and he'll come out roughly even with the McLaren, his teammate, down just about to start a new lap. So we have absolutely blitzed this undercut, and we're going to be massively in the lead. Honestly, I just need to worry about saving tires now, as I do want to keep setting faster laps, because I am scared about those mediums. I don't want to sag off too much, because I have been in situations where it looks like I'm too far ahead. I've been like 10 seconds ahead before on old tires, as we do look at that replay of Norris's pit stop, and I have been overtaken. Anyways, let's see what kind of stop time it looked for Norris. Oh dear, not a good stop time. It looks like he got hampered a bit by Hamilton's Ferrari. So not a great for Ferrari there. For McLaren there. As Ferrari looks like they have an okay-ish pit stop. Honestly, if I was a Ferrari fan, an okay-ish pit stop would be more than welcome. Anyways, as Norris is going to come out behind Russell, legitimately, I think, because Russell's already pit. So Norris has definitely been undercut by both Russell on the mediums, like myself. So the medium hard strategy looked like the way better strategy to me, and he's been both undercut by them and his teammate, as he does overtake Russell heading into on lap 18. But it is very interesting how Russell managed to really jump himself up there, as he's kind of splitting the McLaren and Ferrari, as his teammate is down below the two Ferraris. So very interesting for Russell. He does have a hard tire on, and Leclerc and Hamilton obviously have the medium, so he probably will be overtaken because he has those hard tires on. But it is what it is. Sorry, voice crack there. As we go to lap 23, look at that. I believe the gap was like, what, 19, 18 seconds? Like 5 laps ago, it's down to 12. So as I was saying, I've been in situations where I look like I'm, 10, 12 seconds ahead, but there's like 10 laps to, or 10, 9, 8 laps to go, and I have old tires on, and the AI would have really fast tires on, like a fresh medium, and I would have a old hard. Kind of like a situation like this, an old hard versus fresh medium, and they would absolutely overtake me. So I'm trying to keep that gap up because I'm scared near the end of the race that they're going to come back. But as we go 2 or 3 laps later to lap 26, the end of lap 26, they're fighting each other, Norris and Piastri, that is. And Leclerc's, obviously, he's not really in the fight for the win. He's 8 seconds clear of them, as Norris dives it down the inside of his teammate to maybe get that overtake done. Let's see. It's pretty even between the two of them, and it looks like Piastri will have the inside line. So it looks like Piastri will keep P2. Anyways, as I was saying, but Norris does have DRS, to be fair. As I was saying, I have been in situations where I've been absolutely, I've been beat in situations like that, where I was just too cautious, just trying to manage the tires, keep them below, 40, keep them at, low tire wear, and I lose because of that. And so I honestly just kept blitzing the tires and trying to get those lap times in. As you can see on the right, the left front tire is cooked, 70% wear. The rears are cooked as well, 50% and 60%, and then the front right is nearly 50%. And so the front left is in puncture territory. Like, I'm pretty sure everything from 100 to anything from 70 to 100% is a puncture city kind of a tire. So honestly, I'm just bringing it home here. I'm not really worried about the gap at this point because it's the last lap. But it's been a lovely race, lovely strategy, lovely undercut, and we crossed the line to go P1 in the Chinese Grand Prix. It is a double McLaren podium, but we get the most important spot, which is P1. And we win the race. Driver of the day, Esteban Ocon. Let's go to that podium celebration.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
And that's 2 wins in a row now, of course, Crofty. And it marks the fact that it's not a fluke. So, their head's in the right space. What more can we see going forwards?
And it's time for that special moment for our special 3 today. The podium awaits our top 3 finishers. But there can only be one on the top step. Your number 1, Max Verstappen.
So it is a lovely race.
Another weekend of motorsport action, but with more races lined up.
We obviously came in second for the sprint race, but it's a great haul of points. So our teammate did quite good, 7th on the weekend, 3 points in the sprint race and 4 in the race, quite good, especially for the Red Bull second seat. Antonelli obviously coming away with great points in the race. Lovely to see him doing well, unlike what he kind of has been doing in real life recently and in the game recently. He's just not been doing real great. As it's great to see as Russell does not do well in the. He does good in the sprint race, but in the feature race, I don't believe he did very good in the real race, in the main GP race, which is great to see. Our rival not doing the best. Anyway, guys, let me know how you enjoyed this one. I thought it was a great episode, great strategy. Let me know how you enjoyed it. Please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Have a nice day. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.